Welcome back to the Umuco podcast channel on YouTube. The podcast where we talk about different cultures from all around the world. It is I, Alex, and this is her.
Didinos Munyanos.
Yes, exactly. We're back yet again with another video talking about our adventures in Colombia.
Yes, I'm so excited to share with you guys our adventures in Colombia. We were able to visit 3 cities.
Yeah.
We were able to visit Bogota, Cali, and Buenaventura.
Yeah.
So in this video, we're going to be sharing little bits and pieces of our experiences there. So this was a very interesting, definitely interesting experience.
Yes. Yes, it was. There
Yeah,
was a lot
it was a
lot
lot.
of stuff.
And first we ran into some hiccups.
Yeah. So, Dydine got deported.
Yeah.
So, long story short, we did not know that we needed a visa for her.
Nope.
To get into Colombia. Nobody told us. We didn't look it up. We just didn't have that knowledge.
I know.
And so we fly to Bogota, go through customs, and then they say she needs a visa. They detain her. We're separated, and confusion ensues.
Yep. So it was a long story, but we're not gonna go through it on the YouTube.
Nah, y'all can check out the podcast for that
talking
one.
about it. You know, longer versions of this story because it was a long story.
Right.
But in the end, I was able to get a visa in a few days and then fly back to Bogota to meet you there.
Yes.
As you had been having the best fun.
I was having
Yes.
fun. I was having fun. It was an
He had
adventure.
been already having adventures in Bogota.
Yeah. So I think the following day, once we got to Bogota, you had a speech. Like you had a speech planned around 3:00 in the afternoon at the book fair. Tens of thousands of people, and I was there by myself. You were supposed to be there. I was just exploring, and then so we meet Angel and Mara. They were both our hosts,
our amazing hosts.
and they were showing us around. They were helping me learn Espanol a little bit more because I took 2 semesters in high school, and I kind of forgot a lot of it. But Duolingo, shout out to Duolingo. We're not sponsored, but they really helped me out and try to reclaim my Espanol. But before we can. But anyway, so they were helping me out a lot, and so here comes the day of the speech, and they realized the dean's not here to do it.
No.
You all were coordinating
The
behind
day
the
of
scenes.
speech, I was already just landed back to Houston,
Texas. Yeah.
Houston, Texas. Yeah, and then
You all convinced me to give that speech.
I know, and you did amazing. You did
I said,
amazing.
"Skirt." What she mean, speech? But no, I gave it, and it was good. It was a good speech. It was.
You did.
Yeah. I'm happy I did it.
I was able to listen to you on they put me on speaker, and I had my headphones on as I was at the JFK. No, not JFK airport. What's the
George Bush
airport in Houston.
Yeah.
In baggage claims area. That's where I was listening to the whole speech. And you were amazing. I was like starting to tear up and stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, he's amazing.
Yeah, they just wanted her, Dydine, but then me to speak about Dydine's survival experience and what she's learned from it and how she, uses her positivity to help people and all this stuff. I tried to give a similar speech, but I said I couldn't talk about your story like in the way that you would. So I would talk about it in a way that, I've been witnessing this stuff. I'm your husband. I've seen this stuff firsthand. Anyway, so it was
thank you.
You're welcome.
I was really grateful that you were there.
I had fun with it. It was a good time.
Yeah.
And I made this joke before, but I was an international speaker before you were.
He's been giving me a hard time on this one.
Well, it felt good for the first 48 hours.
I know.
Fast forwarding, so you finally get the visa.
Yeah, I came back. And
you go to Bogota.
Yes.
They don't deport you.
Yeah, I was so excited to meet you in Bogota. And just the first thing we did, we had a margarita. But then we had to fly to Cali in the next day.
Yeah, Cali was fun. Cali was so real quick. So the further west you get towards the Pacific coast of Colombia, it's just less resources. So you kind of felt that, and there's obviously more people of color, you know, moving towards those lower income areas.
Yes.
And it was an interesting experience, kind of taking that in.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that in a moment.
Yeah, it was. It was very interesting, and because I think my observation as soon as I landed at Bogota was that I knew that our conversations were going to be with Black women in Colombia, but then when I was at the airport, there was no Black people working there.
So then you have another talk. I think it's that afternoon when we fly into or that evening when we fly into Cali.
Yes.
Yeah. So that one,
yes.
I remember you describing it as like there was not a lot of Black people in our interactions in Cali, and then as soon as we get to the venue, which is a movie theater, all these Black folks just start coming out of nowhere.
I know, out of nowhere. I'm like,
where did y'all come from? Like, you know, that was kind of the experience that we were waiting for when we got to the country. But that was actually powerful as well. Because again, it's you talking about your story, but you were also sharing the stage with a woman.
Yes.
Nididia
and Charo. They were amazing women, and just going through a lot and supporting other women, and all their work is, you know, there's a lot of wars. There's a lot of instability in especially cities that are near the Pacific coast. Because of the guerrillas and all the things they have going on in Colombia.
The guerrilla warfare, the fighters.
And it affects women and children most often, like everywhere in the world. And so a lot of these women, they have dedicated their lives to help, you know, end this violence, help heal, and just, you know, create a community. So it was a very like community oriented event that I just felt, I don't know, you felt it, there was just like a lot of heart.
I felt it more, maybe not more than others or you, but it definitely hit me. I think that was the most tangible thing that I kind of felt is like this sense of community and this sense of connection and this I don't know, this feeling of just like togetherness. So this is when we go to Buenaventura the next day, right?
We did, yes.
So that's where I really felt that true connection. First of all, the drive, I think it's a 3-hour drive from Cali to Buenaventura.
Beautiful drive.
I'm going to throw some B-roll up here in a second. But it was beautiful, and our driver was fun, and it was just driving through all these hills, and like it felt like, I don't know, maybe it was like
I didn't even sleep on that. Like I was so tired.
I didn't sleep either.
But oh my!
But it felt like I felt connected. Is what I'm trying to say. And when we got to Buenaventura, I mean, that is what people would assume these third world countries are.
How they look.
Just, there's not resources. There's not, like, at the time there was not any running water in the city. And it you know, you felt the lack of resources. You felt like these people were not being supported.
Intense lack of resource.
I think the population or the demographics were, I think, 85% Afro-Colombians, Black people. Not surprised, but I think I was surprised at just how kind of night and day the allocations of resources or lack of resources in one place versus.
And one of the interesting point that I found is that our hosts, as we visit, we're just asking a lot of questions, to better understand the lifestyle, the history of Colombia. And one of the things that shocked me was that most of the resources that goes into the country comes through the Pacific coast.
So this is what really hit me. So in terms of what I took away from Colombia, beautiful city, great food, lovely people. I would love to go back at some point and visit more of the other cities.
Yes.
But the bigger thing that I felt or maybe took away from it was this deeper understanding of myself, of identity, because I saw how Black people interacted in those cities, particularly Buenaventura, how they interacted with one another, and despite the history of violence and the inherent danger,
slavery and all the things,
right? Like there was a there's something that's like almost spiritual about it. Yeah. So remember when we got to Buenaventura, the first thing, one of our other hosts, his name is David.
David.
He brought us to this massive mural. I think it was the biggest mural in South America. On the side of this big building. Second biggest. Yeah. And it was beautiful painting of like the history of Colombia and Latin America.
You guys can see it.
Yeah, and it just has all of these different connections with one another, a deep connection with the land, with the sea, with the people, and then it tells a story of the history with the colonizers who came through and then sort of, did the same thing they did to a lot of places and how they treated their indigenous people. So, but upon seeing that and then interacting with the people, I left feeling educated on my own sense of self, my own Blackness. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it was something that I really I have not experienced to that extent in this particular country, in the US.
I think something is that they, like here, segregations, like you'll be in Los Angeles, but you have people in South LA or have Beverly Hills, you have this but you can find people mixed up in segregations like in the schools or things like that. In Colombia, segregations are cities. Like that's how they did it. You will have people in one city and that city will be almost forgotten, and then there will be other people, maybe natives, being in one area of the city, like another city, almost like this. It's like completely two different countries in the way, even though it's like in one country. That's what I saw.
I agreed. It was a lot more obvious, the segregation. And I remember I asked Angel, I was like, so what is it like living as a Black person in this country? Like what is the existence like of Black people here? Yeah. And he mentioned that like racism isn't like it's present, but it's not
spoken about.
Not really. It's more of a matter of fact thing where it's just the way it is. People really aren't given the space or the time to speak openly about these things. Yeah. And it was like, and you felt it, right? Like Bogota, I don't know the demographics, but not a ton of Black people. And then, like I said, going further west, far more Black people. And that's it was so apparent.
This was our adventures. Oh, we cannot leave without mentioning the food.
Yeah, briefly mention the food, but the food was amazing.
Yes, the food was amazing. The music is amazing. The people are super friendly. Yeah, especially in CALI and Buenaventura. Yeah. Bogota, it's like a US pretty much. US people are friendly too, but what I mean is that I feel like there was more smiles,
more like embracing.
Yeah,
like,
more
the pace of Bogota was far more something like you find in the US, like a bigger city.
Yeah, there's malls and all the big things. And
you said mold?
Malls. A mall.
Malls.
Malls.
He said there's mold.
Not mold, maybe. No, take that out. Anything else you would like to add?
No, I just, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed that experience. And there's a lot of work to do.
Yes.
A lot of work. And again, if you want to hear a little bit more in detail, make sure to check out the podcast episodes. I think there's 2 hours of us going in depth about what happened and what we experienced. Yeah. But this is just a brief recap. Yeah. And, I had a great time. I know you did as well.
I know I did. And the podcast is on, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and everywhere. You can find it everywhere.
And, as well as the podcast, you can probably visit our Patreon. I don't know. Maybe become our patrons. Maybe start to donate. Visit our website at mucholove.org.
Yeah. You can join our community.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah, you can comment. You can like. You can share this video. You can tell us anything you know about Colombia, or if you're from there, who knows. Yep. And just one thing I've realized, that humans are definitely the same everywhere.
100%.
It does not matter where you come from, what language. all the things that you think makes you special, different, or whatever, we are the same.
We're exactly the same.
Just deal with it.
Okay. Deal with it. I'm not sure we mentioned you can also subscribe too. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You know, you can also do that if you want to.
Well, I think we have now 117 people subscribed on our YouTube channel. So we would like more. We would like to get to 1,000.
Yes, that's still the goal
here. So if you're
here.
watching, you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and do so. It's a huge support. And we'll see you. Stay tuned. We'll see you until next time.
Yeah, we'll catch you in the next video. Stay tuned.